Okay, so this is going to be my first tutorial. I'm going to do the fabric canvas wraps that I do on my swords and things. The last one I did get a lot of good feedback on the, it's like a rough canvas fabric texture. This is it. You don't really need to see the. So I'm gonna do a little quick tutorial on how you can do this, because it's super fucking easy, and it does look pretty cool considering. You have to be. Honestly, this is pretty rough. So I mean, you can do this in a few different ways. The first thing to do is you got to draw your sword. Now I'm using Clipstudio. You can use anything for this. I mean, you can do this with pen and paper. It don't matter. Once you see basically how I'm doing it, you'll get to start to figure out how you can do it with pen and ink, how you can do it in Photoshop. So, I mean, mostly I do this. I like the rougher kind of looking swords and things like that. I don't do a lot of really fancy ones. If we do like the fancy, like good guy knight, I would do more, I think, of like a leather, unless of course it's like a katana or a samurai katana. So as you can see, this is pretty rough over here. It's made to look like it was raw, like this would be good for like an orc, that kind of situation. So the first thing I do is make sure I'm on the right layer. Set up my handle here, and that's going to be the general shape. You could do it for anything. And then set up which way you want your wrap to go. So you're thinking like you've made a sword handle, and then you wrap it in the canvas tight the way a katana would look, or like this one here. Let me see if I can show you some good stuff here. So here again, this is my canvas handle. Then how do you spell katana? Okay, so there you go. You get a pretty, see the nice fabric here. And I could show you how to do all of this. This is a little more fancy for the specific stuff. You don't really need to worry about that to start with. Once you get the basic texture idea down, all caps forever, baby. You'll see like so yeah, fancier ones will have wood, and this looks like a guy that's more, working for a kingdom or something like that. But when you want the little out in the wild, street level guys, you want something a little more rough looking like this. Now this is with rope. I've never even seen this before. But that's real cool. I really like that rope wrap. That might be my next quest. Fill that guy out. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna put with it. So first things first, I'm gonna set up a general kind of layout for the fabric. Again, this is just going to be something somebody made by hand, simply wrapped. Kind of get a rough little thing going, and again, if you wanted just something more traditionally wrapped like that, why the fuck not? You could even do something a little more similar to this. It don't make a difference. The one I use the most is this one over here. So that's what we're going to start with. So here's your, however you want to do your handle, your little other part of the sword, that's called the guard. So the thing to remember, so this is here. So this is pushed up against the guard here. So when you do this, you want to start doing the bunches. It's going to bunch up, So you can do it as much or as little as you want. And this is round, so maybe it's coming from around the back a little bit. Maybe not so much. You're going to do this, and you're going to figure out what you like best. You're going to make little mistakes and things, and like the mistakes better the more you do it. And again, the more overlaps you put, the rougher it's going to look. And that's all storytelling. That's all role playing. Where did the sword come from? Who made it? And, remember that you're working. This is a rounded. This is a cylinder. So remember your 3D. Now the good thing with the wide overlap like this, and I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. So you got a wide overlap like this, as opposed to something that's a little bit tighter. You got to think how stretched fabric looks. I suggest Vern Hogarth, his book on drapery. It's the best. It's the best one. It's basically from like the Da Vinci School of Art. So everything looks amazing. It looks the way it's supposed to look. Everything is super exaggerated. So you can start there and then work your way back. And you're going to figure out your own style for this shit. And whatever you're most comfortable with is always going to look the best. So on this layer, obviously I'm getting a little heavy-handed with the amount of just, get in there and think about how it would be bunched up and pulled tight down. you know, and it's going to look pretty cool right away. Right away, it's become a little bit more involved. And again, this is a lot. Like if you could see on mine, mine's a little bit less pronounced. And when I show you how to do this, and if you get it, you'll understand, like, okay, I can pull this back. And again, when you, keep saying that again, when you make your handle, it doesn't have to look straight. Like, the same thing applies for, you want it a little bit more inverted like this, same shit. And that's another way to do it. You can have the seams meet perfectly. You know what I'm saying? You meet a little perfectly right there. And the cool thing, I'll show you that in a second. So with this on the left here, here we go. So you get your little folds going. There it is. And you just do that all the way down. And more. And if you want to get a little more involved, you can do tears. I have it ripping and pulling up a little bit. Now when you're done with this, this is going to look kind of like a rough old canvas. Like a very, like a hemp canvas, very hard fabric stitching and everything. It's going to look pretty sweet. And it's one of these little details that you don't, when you look at it as the viewer, not as the artist, you don't immediately acknowledge it. But subconsciously, you're acknowledging it. It's telling you something else about the weapon, which in turn tells you something about the user of the weapon, or at least the position he's in at the time. So, I always go, you want to shade it, of course. I would shade underneath this, but this is going to borderline be cross-hatching. I kind of go back and forth with hatching to shade and shading itself, but I always go pretty close-knit on the outside and then close-knit towards the bottom. And remember, when you want it a little bit darker, so down here where the straps overlap, so like here, you know, in these parts, the straps overlap here. It's going to get darker down here because it's supposed to look like it's going underneath the one above it. So, I make the stitches closer together. I make the lines a little thicker. Also, don't use a thinner line. You know, does that make sense? I hope so. So, here we go. Take your little line that you got here. Pick your, I got it at 60 basically. But again, don't worry about that. Whatever you feel comfortable with. And I'm using a pencil tool also. hit that a little bit better there. Clash this again. So I'm going to go to my ink pen, just enormous for some reason. I'm going to start with the 15. Now, if you're using Clipstudio like I am, when you do these lines, I keep my stabilization high. Because you don't got to do a lot with these lines here. So I keep the stabilization real high. I'm at like 65 right now. I find you long strokes get you the kind of uniformity you're looking for here. I'm not going to do the whole thing because you don't need to see the whole thing. I'm going to really get down to business now. So watch the wide out one too. Keep looking back and forth because a lot of this is going to look weird up close. But as you see it from a distance, you're going to start to get how it looks. It's always good to use it. I always love the navigator because I can see from a distance, you know. Also, I'm recording this, so if you want, I'm going to put this up on YouTube after that. So these are bunching up here. And these are kind of going flat, so I might go a little bit smaller as I come away. You can, right off the bat, start doing the cross hatching. It's very similar to like cross hatching techniques. I'm sure you hear my puppy crying. He's ready to go. He's ready to go potty. And then under your seams, do that. You can, so if I'm at 20 for this main line, I would say go down. I'm going to go down to like a 16 here. And just try to remember where your line is. And if you're worried about where the line of your fold was that you redrew, go to the layer underneath. Keep it at a more transparent layer and just draw it. Just draw it all the way through. I don't know if you can see that. I'll make it a little bit darker. And, you know, keep your folds in mind. That's where you want them. You don't need them on the main drawing, but you can go back and check those out, you know? And then you can go back up to the other layer here. And as you get towards the center, I always keep it a little bit smaller. I'll go bigger towards the end. See what I'm saying? And like I said, always look back on your navigator. See where you are. And I mean, just, you know, don't forget where you're going. Now what I do as I get towards the center here, so on the bigger ones, you can put a little center thing in there, just kind of mix. So if I'm doing, if this is my line here, and I'm doing these at each end, and I go a little bit longer, and then they get smaller as they go towards the center. And then also as you go towards the center line, just change the round, your curve to show roundness to go the other direction. That's what I do. If that makes sense. And do your cross lines. And like, you know, if it's real big and you're going from the center, just kind of, if you do your cross lines, kind of get wider from each other towards the center and closer towards the end, which is what you're doing. You know? What's the shush, Bubba? And I start with my long lines on that one, which is not what you should do, but it doesn't matter. Whatever you're most comfortable with. I'm gonna, and that's, I mean, that's pretty much it. It doesn't really matter which line you use. And I know these lines don't look perfectly straight, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because basically, this is not what you're looking at. What you're going to be looking at is the whole sword from out here. And I'm overdoing it. Like, this is dark. So if you're doing a black and white, this might be fine. Maybe a little bit less. I would go a little less. I'm more just showing you for technique. But if you were going to color underneath, even a gray wash, you don't need this much. You know, you're going to add shadow and everything else. It don't matter. Oh boy. And if you want more delicate, a thinner pencil, ink line, a thinner line on your pen tool, and then, you know, you just fluctuate back from the, what the hell do they call it? The brush size. Try bigger, thicker brush sizes and bigger gaps, even at the ends where it's going to be closer together. Check those gap sizes, and you're going to find something you like. Just as I was saying before, so see, this is supposed to look more bunched up here, but down at the bottom in this section here, it's a little more flatter. You know, don't forget to add a little curve here, because it is round. And I would erase those lines in there, but I'm not doing that. And a little bit of love in the center. But you know what? Again, with that, zoom out. How's it look? This actually up here in this section, I think it looks a little too uniform. You know, this is all organic stuff. This isn't computer made. If you like that, that's fine. It's whatever you like. Give a little more zips down at the end. Big lines for the separations of the folds here. That's going to add some nice depth and stuff because, again, as far as I can see, you know, obviously this fold here is above. So this part down here is going under, so I'm going to shade it just a little bit. And by shading, I mean brush size and amount of hatch. This is like one of those cool situations where cross hatching that you would use for, you know, shading works for texture. And it gives you really, I like it. People seem to say, "Oh, look at all the detail. Look at all the detail." It's fucking crossing lines. It's a stupid little thing that if you just try to make it look nice, it looks real nice when it's done. Again, we're super overdoing it here, just to show technique. This is one of my. I do this on all my plates, all my wraps for weapons. This is going up here. Remember where you're. You know, I would actually say that I kind of messed this up. So there's a, you know. You know, like, and this is cool because you could use this for like, since it looks like canvas so much, you could use this for bandages, drawing on injuries. You know, that would look cool. It would work. But again, you know, just you know, if you're drawing like a bandage on an arm, so you have your arm here, and then you could do. I always do 2 big folds at the ends, maybe 3. You know, and just remember, usually at the bottom where it's pulled tight. The ends tend to get bunched at the bottom, and it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Just pull it out a little bit. That's actually way bigger than I would go on a bandage. I would put that way, way smaller. But if that's the size of the arm, I would. When I do my hatching too, I like to crank my stabilization up. So you can see this. Just in the middle there, you know, and then underneath, you can put a little bit of a full layer here. So you got a little, it's like a nice watercolor brush would be cool here. Get your red, and then wherever your wound is, go down and make it darker. You know, where the wound is under the thing, kind of spread that out. Do a little quick blending on there, and it's pretty cool. Looks pretty good. A watercolor brush there might be really cool too. But there you go. Use the same method as we did over here, and it looks pretty good. So for Let me collapse these layers real quick. So for this shape over here, shit, sorry about that. So we did a little bit of a more kind of so we did more of a kind of an inverted, for more like a kind of inverted handle that goes in and kind of splays out towards the sides here. We're going to go ahead and symmetry tool this, because I love the symmetry tool. It is my one true love in this world. And then get rid of this. To the top, to the bottom. Of course, Clipstudio does not symmetry tool, but it okay, so that's a pretty good shape. Go up here. Now this is I'm not entirely sure how this wrap would be performed, but I do know that it looks fucking sick. Which, at the end of the day, no one fucking cares. As long as it looks fucking sick. If you want to get real with it, I would use for this way less. Holes, because this was wrapped by somebody like a more invested, higher quality type sword maker. Now it's going to bunch up in the middle here, so make your lines come out from there. I'm going to make this a little bit, these folds a little bigger. These are going to be good. And it's the same thing we did before. Little lines, little lines, little lines, little lines, little lines, little lines. And I'm a big fan of it. If like I fuck something up, just make a new layer and go over it. But you're probably pretty close. There you go. And it's the same situation as before. Bigger. Pencil tool makes everything so nice and warm. Turn the lines a little bit. And we're really zoomed in, so don't worry about like going crazy on these, okay? Because like, I'm going nuts with them. Because I'm showing you how it works. Let's do it. But so we could just put a little bit in the middle there. There you go. Works the same way. And again, fuck with it. Whatever you're comfortable with. You're going to figure out a way you like better. Fuck with your stabilization, fuck with your brush sizes, do different things. Just, remember your folds. Overdo it. What does stretched fabric look like? You know? That's huge. And I mean, if you want to make it real foldy, like fold and fold and fold and fold and fold, do that shit. It'll probably look cool as hell. Go back and there you go. I don't really know what else to say about that. Fuck with your patterns and stuff. Like, there's so much cool little things here that you could do. And then, like that katana blade that we showed before. I don't even know how the hell I found that, but let me take a look at that. Katana handle images. Yeah, here's a cool one. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this over. Look at this. That's cool as shit. But so what they did here, what this guy did is there's straps going across horizontally that are just twisted in the middle. You know? So that's what it looks to me. I don't know if they're twisted or they're pinched with a stitch. And you can see it tied off at the bottom here. But I don't think you need to even do that unless you want to. You wouldn't need to, no one's going to ask. You can make this the top. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, this is crazy how this is how I would do this. I'm going to get this out of here. There we go. Bring this back over here. So basically what he did it's crazy that he did that. And you know what I'm going to do with this? Just like I said before, I'm going to use my girlfriend symmetry tool. So you got, here's a line, and this will be the lines for our straps. And then it doesn't really go to the ends, not even close. I mean, if you want real exacting, that's fine. I get that. That's like cool. Like it makes a sword look more well made. So here's the basic. That worked out. So then we got some lines there for us. And it's going to make sense in a minute, I promise. So here's our sword handle. And we know that the bunches kind of don't go that far out. So I'm gonna, this is where our switches are gonna go. So let's see. Alright, so we got this going. And again, we're just going to lay this out. I'm going to start down here. Goodbye. So you got your basic idea here laid out, how you want to do it. And I would go to a new layer. We don't really need this much either. And then, I mean, you could use your symmetry tool again, but so remember, they're getting bunched up in the center here. So remember your angles. It kind of looks like you just twisted it. I'll do the same thing we did before. And again, this is really close up for a sword. Most of the time, unless you're drawing a sword for the sake of drawing a sword, you're not going to see any of this shit. But that's not what we're going about. Got the little twisty kind of going here. Leave 'em by the door. Leave 'em by the door. You can see you can do a lot of different shit here. I curse a lot, I'm sorry. But I'm not a school teacher. This is a YouTube tutorial. And if you wanted to, just to see how that looks, as you can see, this is something I do a lot. Like, so I can kind of get a good idea for the layout and see what I like, what I don't like. I love fucking with layers to like, especially when I'm concepting, laying shit out. Alright, so there you go. You got kind of like an idea what that's going to look like. If you want to take it one step further, well, there you go. That don't look awful. And you know, just get in there and work it out. This is just your pencil phase. So now there could be other things that you could do with this, like what if they tied them off with little like gems or something, you know? Or something like that. I don't know, like some kind of symbol in there. You know? It's more just cool shit. And I remember there's scabbard under here too. What's under there? You know? You don't have to do any of this. Like say you want to take that out. Maybe the gems are on the inside. In here. You know? Maybe they put something in the center here, like anything. It could be anything. Is it a bad guy? Maybe skulls. Skulls are always sick. A happy skull, I guess. But anything, you know? Anything you want to put in there, you can. Or just maybe a texture. Tons of stuff. Everything you do means something. You know, you got a cool sword. And, yeah, that's just with your fabric stuff. And now I would go back, you know, again, collapse your layers. You don't want that. Give me a new layer. And just get in there and use your ink. Make sure you're on the right layer. How do you want to handle that little flippy or whatever you decided to do with it? And there you go. But yeah, so here's one that I did. I'm not getting quality here. Here's the real, so you get a little bit better here. Obviously, I took my time. It's a little bit nicer. And yeah, I mean, this you don't need to color this. A little gray wash underneath is fine. You can see you get darker down in there, come out. And obviously this is made to look like a wrought iron or a stone. I did that with like stippling or pointillization, whatever you want to call it, but that's for another thing. But yeah, it looks pretty good when you're done with it. So you see how in this area I went closer with your long lines towards the bottom. It looks a little more rounded down there. Just, pretty sick. So, I don't know what the hell I did on the bottom here. I don't know what my mindset was. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. But I liked it at the time, so whatever. But there you go. That's it. And I hope it helped you. And just, keep doing it. And if you like something better, do that. If you get comfortable with something else, do that. All right. I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. I might do another one. I'm going to put all my ArtStation and Instagram and Twitter down in the links at the bottom. All right. Bye-bye.